G'day. Just a response to being tagged by Dale Calder about our plans in the garden. It's very brisk, 21 degrees here, a bit chilly, so I thought I'd give it a bit of a run through. Just to let you know too, we've had a bit of rain. We've had about 200 millimeters of rain, someone said, in the last 3 or 4 days, so it's a tad damp. That's why I haven't done this clip earlier. Plans for the garden for this year. Well, our next season coming up is a major growing season. It's autumn, so that's where we like to plant a lot of our peas and leafy greens, our Chinese veg and lettuce that go to bolt very quickly in the heat. So my plan is, after we eat all these beautiful carrots and finish off with the spaghetti squash up the other end, we plan on planting honey pod and snow peas. Between this post and that post will be snow peas, and the next post along will be honey pod peas, and have them grow up a wire trellis that I'll attach there. Hopefully that'll help fix some nitrogen to the soil, because they're both legumes, and nice easy access from that side. And in the centre here, I don't know what I'll plant yet, but we have a bit of a major issue with some of our beds. All our beds are made up of different soils, because we bought, as beds were made, we bought soil in, and you never get the same soil mix from the landscaping supplies. This lot here was a bit of a dud. There's a lot of clay lumps in it. You can see there, clay sand. So that's all through this bed. One of the bonuses, this lot of soil, for some reason, when I turned it after harvesting the carrots, it's full of earthworms, which is a bit bizarre, because like I said, these are wicking beds, are all a sealed base to hold the water in the bottom that we put down through the fill pipe. So it's a self-watering garden bed, so there's no way for the earthworms to get in there, so they must have come in with the soil. And there's compost worms in there as well, because we put compost worms in all our beds. And yeah, I think they've eaten all the 2 wheelbarrow loads of mushroom compost we put in here at the beginning of this summer to try and get the bed to have a little bit more organic matter. So a little bit frustrated about the quality of the soil, so I've gone and planted a whole heap of snow peas in this one, and we're just going to let them grow to about 9 foot or 1.5 meters. Snip them all off and mulch them up with the mower, and then dig them back through the bed. So that's a handy trick actually. If you've got a lot of prunings from the garden and you want them to mulch down, you want them to break down a lot quicker, either in your compost or whatever, run over them with your lawnmower and pick them up in the catcher and just bury it back through wherever you wanted it to go, so, or onto the compost pile. Just breaks it down a little bit, helps it along. Yeah, so one of the main things we're doing is fixing our soil. So there's this one here that we've planted out with snow peas, and this one here with honey pod peas. So they were meant for the seed sharing group, but no one asked for them, so I thought, well, save me buying more legumes to fix nitrogen and the organic matter, I'll use these guys. So another one is to get rid of these pesky little blighters. Oh, we've got 2 for 1 here. We have a grasshopper over here that you can't see because it's blurring out. Have a grasshopper hiding behind that stem there, probably see his legs, and 28 spot lady beetle there. So yeah, so pest control and management is another thing for this year. I've started to use these, just bear with me, started to use the pest exclusion bags. You basically bag up your fruit. There's a nice, well, you can see it coming on. Well, I don't know if you can make that out. Nice red looking capsicum coming on in there, so stops the fruit fly. We get bad Queensland fruit fly here. There's another one down there ripening up, and we've got one on a rock melon out the front there at the moment. So we're trying to bag up all these fruit before we get they get hit by fruit fly. I eat them even if they are hit by fruit fly. You just get them when there's a little black spot on the outside, cut around that, no maggots are hatched, and still tastes fine. But it is also nice to have fruit that's not hit. So that's another big one. Fixing up the spice bed, that's another thing I have to do. I overplanted that bed, which is another thing Bianca wants me to learn. Restraint. I plant out too heavy-handedly, basically. In that bed there we had rows of beetroot, and beetroot planted in between the spice, so ginger, turmeric and galangal, and along the back we oversowed the sunflowers. So I just plant out too intensively and it just sucks all the nutrient from the soil and life from the soil. Plants go great to begin with, and then yeah, about halfway through their life cycle they start to drop off. So tadpoles, I'll just give you a quick little look at these guys because they're all out with this fresh rain we've had. Heaps of them. So as you can see, they're all still in there and quite happy. So the other thing I want to talk about is aquaponics. I'd like the frogs to all grow legs and hop away and turn these two into aquaponic grow beds. And also, my nice big 7 goldfish in here are all healthy and growing. Aren't pooing enough for the system, that's why we only have 1 grow bed. So I'd like to get probably about 20 jade perch. Just probably slightly mature fingerlings in there so we can get the system up and running properly. This has been dragging on for nearly 12 months now and I'd really like to see some excellent growth. I don't want to overplant this one too much because I'd say what's in there is using all the nutrients available at the moment. So I'd rather have a few healthy plants than heaps of sickly, poor looking plants. The ammonia nitrites and nitrates, for those in the know, the ammonia is trace, pH is fairly stable at the high 7s. Sometimes I get trace nitrites, sometimes I don't, and I get no nitrates. So the plants in here are using everything up, so as far as I know. Just a bit of an update. These are the little green onions, shallots, or spring onions, whatever you want to call them, from wherever you are, that I planted the other day, and they've all got a little bit of growth on them. So just to show you that they're growing alright. So yeah, aquaponics is the other big one we want to get going this year. Yeah, so that's pretty much all it. I'd also like to be able to mow my lawn. That'd be a good one too. Poor water chestnuts. Came by the rain. The only other plan I really have is to set up a pond for the frogs. But if any other frogs would like to procreate in our garden, they have a pond designed for it, either a bathtub or something like that with a couple of flametail gudgeons or blue eyes in there to eat the mozzie larvae. So that's pretty much all it. Hope I can edit this into something a little bit more coherent. Who would I like to tag? I'd like to tag, to keep this moving along, all the Aussie subscribers, or all the Aussies I subscribe to, or who subscribe to me and have gardens. Like to see what you guys are doing. I saw a clip the other day from Hamish. He's got big plans with his IBC wicking beds and his aquaponics, so yeah, he's going to have one kicker of a garden going. Yeah, so pretty much all the Aussies like to see what you guys are doing. And that's pretty much all it, I think. Thank you very much, Dale, for getting me motivated to do a clip, even though I'm slightly damp now. Have a great one, guys. See ya.